Welcome everybody, and in today's top news, we're going to talk about the Homero Rodriguez case, which is about ISG, International Services Group, this multinational company with presence in over 20 countries. They provided services not only locally, but not only for the country as such, for international and local companies. Um, they had two main focuses. They wanted to, well, they want to, for the little companies, they want to make them like better. They try to make them more competitive. As I was saying before, their main focus are the financial accounting services, so they try to make the best out of them. They also support the international companies, and they try to exchange information between countries and between different how can I put it, different parts of the same organization. What is the case? The problem here is that there were a lot of problems with the local companies, with the small companies, because the managers, they all said like, "Wow, this is my company, and I have to." Well, it's different from everyone else. And you couldn't share information from those little local companies in worldwide, in an international base. So this started creating problems. First of all, because the language was a very big um, barrier between the exchanging information, and second of all, they all tried to like stand up, and for everyone they were like the most important part. So if everybody thinks that they are the most important part, nobody's the most important part. So what does the company do? What does Homero, which is the CEO, try to do? He wants to create a product that can like standardize all the functions and try to make all the enterprise's problems to go away. This tool is called Spartacus. Spartacus is a tool that could help like the small and the large companies as such try to solve their main problems. As the text was saying, we could see that its team identified 12 major and 27 minor localized solutions that could like completely go away or get nullified by the use of Spartacus. The problem with this is that as we were saying, there were a lot of barriers and a lot of problems between different companies in the same and in different countries. So that creates a really big problem for the company as such. And now we go to see how can we solve this case.
As a large company with offices throughout the world, it's incurred in several problems. Centralization is one of them. As a big company, you must have many managers in different areas and many managers to each country that the company work. And this way to management is not clear to know how to command or where is coming the instruction or where is the main instruction. So they made centralization problems. Another problem is a geographical problem. This problem we can talk in the way that uh, in Brazil could be the day, in China is night. So these different times for each company made a problem. For example, when a company needs to make a meeting to I don't know, to discuss or to coordinate important topics about the company, could be really difficult to choose a hour that the all countries feel comfortable. And other problem with that is that um, The different times means in a difficult in a flow traffic information, because for example if in Brazil needs information that they have in China, and in Chinese night Brazil can't have the information in a real time, so it's a difficult of traffic information. um, other problem is each country has its laws and have its um, legal legal ways to do everything. And for example, each country have a different taxes, different days to pay the taxes, or the countries use different kind of money. So there is a big gap for the integration that the company wants. For example, the legal issues, each country has to treat it as an individual. The company can't treat its topics as a global company because each country have its ways to do the things. Okay, now we can find the biggest um, problem, that is cultural problems. Could the In the project we have many countries in into a project. We have many cultures. We have a lot of people working from every part of the world. So the biggest problem going to be the language. As the company say that they use the English as a language to communicate between them. But for example, the countries that they don't, the English is not his major language, uh, they're going to see this as a barrier, the barrier in communication between them. So the company is have a problems with the communication for this barrier, that is a cultural barrier, and this is the language. And other problem was the each part of the company want to work alone, not as a not as a global company, so it's a local company. So the managers of a local of a each country, they want to be expert in a local market, on the local experience, and they want to be the best of the company. In For example, they only want to his region, his, I don't know, his department was the best, going to be the best of the company. They don't want to work for the company. No, they work alone to be the best of the company. And it's a problem for the integration of the company, because they they um, they 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 should to work for the company goals, not for the each regional part of the company goals. So this individual um, think about to know how to work could be is going to be a really problem for the company, as the case said. Um, Other problem is where how is too many cultures are into the company, among the company. They feel they don't have incentive to share information or work together. They look so different each other to others They say we talk other language, we live in other parts, we work different. So it's things is this way to see the company and make make difficult the integration, and that's why they try to work alone and not as a company for this cultural difference that they know. One example is in the case aid, how was the meeting around the world, how in one part of the world they don't want to know nothing about this meeting, and in the meeting they were talking about a big project for a company, and they know, and the CEO saw how was it difficult to coordinate all these cultures. They, for example, others think that they was an other project to the company. No, they don't know that were the biggest project of the company. And finally, we uncoordinate effort moving away from the core of the business model. So each part of the company try to work as his own way, and they move it away from the core of the business model, and that there was a integration model.
Well, so after all the analysis of the partners did, I think that it's important to highlight that the International Service Group, ISG, serves global and local clients with accounting solutions and also has grown substantially over the last few decades, thanks to a very proactive management culture at the local subsidiary level. While this growth has been good, it has also introduced certain inefficiencies. Uh, ISG's CEO, Mateo Rodriguez, now wants to change the organization from a locally responsive structure to a global integrated one by introducing a global accounting software program. The name of the program is Spartacus. In that case, we can identify that the manager needs to deal with threats that face every multinational, being that boundaries often represent barriers that create conflicts and counterproductive divides. So for the three of us, we think that the main problems are, first of all, the boundary spanning leadership issues across functional domains. An example of this is that in SIG, in ISG team, one team of the headquarters seemed to be divided. At one point, the head of the finance had challenged the top key account manager about the necessity of some of the features this manager has proposed for Spartacus. The challenge resulted in somehow heated debate about individual competencies and expertise, and that led Rodriguez to give his notes about how his team and the individual groups and the main experts were working together because they have like a very uh, difficult relationships between one another. There were problems that we identified is the issues across cultural domains. For example, in the date of the meeting, uh, the Brazilian sales manager had been excused by his boss after only 90 minutes and apparently need to address an important issue. However, it was also Brazilian Independence Day, so maybe we think that this has a direct relationship between the events. In this case, the cultural aspect has interfered with the work that they have developed. And the Germans, on the other hand, while initially very vocal, seem to become disengaged about an hour into the meeting because they have another time zone. Rodriguez, for him, was very early, and for the Germans, no, it was very, very, very late. So they was very tired, maybe. And the last one is the issues across hierarchical and geographic domains. For example, language barriers create another issue because we have like the English as a corporate language, but the, the heavy focus on the customer intimacy at the country level and the variation in laws and regulation creates silos. So there was no incentive for sharing since everybody was apparently so different. Every headquarter has his forms of doing things and his own language. This created like a huge gap. Country managers did not see the benefits to reaching out since they were doing just fine on their own. And in addition, local operations were very busy with their own projects, and they also need to be prepared to serve some of the multinational clients, and they were pushed on them by headquarters. So Rodriguez was worried about about certain countries that has strayed too far from the ISG's core business model. So we clearly see that it's important that the CEO has like an important change in the managerial side because he needs to implement an organization culture that is unified for all the headquarters and business areas and allow him to solve the problems that identify in his notes. For example, the rift, the lack of trust between headquarters and subsidiaries, the silos, there is the products and services developed, operations and key account management that they are not on the same page. Also the turf battle, Joe Judging local partners and suppliers, generation gap because they have like young team members in one country were not taken seriously by older and more senior management in other countries. The culture clash because South America lacks buy-in and think it's just another headquarter project of the month. Ownership lacking. He identified this problem. And also the collaboration, the lack of cross-regional thinking, as we said before. However, not all is bad. He also needs to work on improve the positive sides, like the partnerships. Asia senior and middle management well coordinated and share vision, and that's important. And it's important that he implements this model in all of the headquarters. Also, the core competencies, marketing, branding, and international key account management are well linked. The common ground, excellent feedback from multinational customers panel, clear on the type of solution they want to deliver, the engagement, the willingness to share wide-ranging perspective, diversity seen as a strength, the competitive mindset, high energy to contribute to all of the overall success of the company, and the talent, a lot of untapped innovation potential. So after all of this, we think that the solution is very clear and all is about cultural issues. No, mainly. Also there are like structural issues, but are are in contrast of the cultural issues.